In this video, I'm going to show you the very first two chords you need to know on how to play guitar. Let's get started. Well, hey there, my name is Jonathan Harper and I am a musical instructor. Thank you so much for joining me today as I show you some things about the guitar. Now, the first thing I do with my students is I ask them what their goals are about learning guitar, right? Do you want to be able to go out to the campfire and bring your guitar with you? Do you want to start a band with your friends? Or maybe you want to join your church worship team? Whatever the case may be, it's very important that you have a goal because let's face it, you might be practicing guitar and it just might get hard sometimes. So it's good to have a goal. That being said, let's get started by playing some guitar. So the first chord that I'm going to show you is called the G chord, and it sounds like this. Now, before I show you that chord, it's really important that you know how to tune your guitar, that you know how to make your guitar sound good. And so if you would like to learn how to do that, you can click on this link for another video that I've made where I show you how to tune your guitar. But I'm going to assume you've already tuned your guitar. Now, the chord that I'm teaching you today is called the G chord. Now, in order to play the G chord, you first have to take your middle finger and you have to stick it on the top E string, 3rd fret. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, Jonathan, what are frets? Well, frets are these little rectangles on the neck of the guitar. And we actually produce sound from the guitar by pressing down on the strings in between the frets. Right? So if I press down on that E string, the top E string, I produce sound. Okay? Now don't press down on like where your string hits the actual kind of fret measures or like the fret dividers. They're pressed down in between on the middle of the fret. Okay? So for our G chord, we're going to take our middle finger, we're going to stick it on the top E string, 3rd fret. Top E string, 3rd fret. And it sounds like this. Good. Now, if your string, for whatever reason, sounds kind of muffly or not quite clear, like that, that's just because you're probably not pressing down hard enough and you need to develop calluses on your fingers. If you stick with guitar, these will probably develop within like the first month, maybe 6 weeks or so. But it's gonna hurt at first to press down on the strings, and that's okay. That's normal. That's kind of a good thing, okay? But your fingers need to develop calluses, and until they do that, it might sound kind of like that. It'll come, all right? So the next finger that we're going to use is our pointer finger. We're going to stick our pointer finger on our A string, which is the 2nd string from the top 2nd fret, just like that. Okay? So our first 2 strings together for this chord sound just like that. Now we're going to take our ring finger and we're going to stick it on the 2nd to bottom string, 3rd fret. And with our other 2 fingers on the neck, it sounds like that. And to cap off our G chord, we're going to put our pointer, sorry, not our pointer, we're going to put our pinky finger on the bottom E string, 3rd fret. So it sounds like this. And if for some reason that's really challenging for you or kind of really hard, that's okay, right? You're probably using muscles in your hand in a different way that you've never used before. So just give yourself some grace knowing that it's going to get better. All right, the next chord that I want to show you actually builds off of the G chord. And don't worry, we're only learning 2 chords today. But this chord is called the C chord, or it's actually kind of a cheater version of the C chord. And all you need to do to play the C chord is start out on your G chord shape, right? And then you just move your middle and your pointer finger down each one string, like that, okay? So if I start on my G chord shape and I move them down each one string, just the middle and the pointer, that's what happens. I have my C chord. Now it's really important that your ring finger and your pinky finger don't go anywhere, that they don't move. These are kind of like your anchors that you have, okay? So G chord, C chord, G chord, C chord. Cool. So in the next video, we are actually going to practice what I just showed you. You know, as a musical instructor, I could always tell when my students would practice during the week, just because if they showed up, they either knew what they were doing or they kind of needed more explanation, right? And so I don't want to just turn you over to the wolves and assume that you know how to practice this. So in this next video, I'm actually going to make a practice for you. I'm going to give you like a 10 to 15 minute practice. And the cool thing is that you can repeat that next video as many times as you want in order to practice. So make sure you check that video out, and remember, if you don't know how to tune your guitar, make sure you go back and learn how to do that. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep it simple.